Good morning and welcome to Haymills CC Online. Haymills CC, we're wild, welcoming, inclusive, loving and diverse. This morning is Good Friday. Why is it called Good Friday when it's the day that Jesus died? I don't know about you, but I've always wondered. Well, some say it's a corruption of God's Friday, that kind of makes more sense. Anyway, it's the day that Jesus was crucified. Let's hear more from the Gospel of Luke. Today's readings were a great big long one. They're meant to be from Luke chapter 22 verses 47 to chapter 23 verse 48. I'm not going to read it all, but you can. And don't forget, if you haven't got a Bible, let us know at Haymills CC and we can sort that out for you. So, from chapter 23, verses 26 to 49. As the soldiers led him away, they seized Simon from Cyrene, who was on his way in from the country, and they put the cross on him and made him carry it behind Jesus. A large number of people followed him, including women who mourned and wailed for him. Jesus turned and said to them, "Daughters of Jerusalem, do not weep for me. Weep for yourselves and for your children. For the time will come when you will say, 'Blessed are the childless women, the wombs that never bore, and the breasts that never nursed.' Then they will say to the mountains, 'Fall on us,' and to the hills, 'Cover us.' For if people do these things when the tree is green, what will happen when it is dry?" 2 other men, both criminals, were also led out with him to be executed. When they came to the place called the Skull, they crucified him there, along with the criminals, one on his right, the other on his left. Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they are doing." And they divided up his clothes by casting lots. The people stood watching, and the rulers even sneered at him. They said, "He saved others, let him save himself, if he is God's Messiah, the chosen one." The soldiers also came up and mocked him. They offered him wine vinegar and said, "If you're the king of the Jews, save yourself." There was written notice above him which read, "This is the King of the Jews." One of the criminals who hung there hurled insults at him. "Aren't you the Messiah? Save yourself and us." But the other criminal rebuked him. "Don't you fear God," he said, "since you are under the same sentence. We are punished justly, for we are getting what our deeds deserve. But this man has done nothing wrong." Then he said to Jesus, "Remember me when you come into your kingdom." Jesus answered him, "Truly, I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise." It was now about noon, and darkness came over the whole land until 3 p.m, for the sun stopped shining, and the curtain of the temple was torn in two. Jesus called out with a loud voice, "Father, into your hands I commit my spirit." When he had said this, he breathed his last. The centurion, seeing what had happened, praised God and said, "Surely this was a righteous man." When all the people who had gathered to witness this sight saw what took place, they beat their breasts and went away. But all those who knew him, including the woman who had followed him from Galilee, stood at a distance, watching these things. So much happens in these verses. It's so tragic. But right up until his last breath, Jesus, the human being, the Son of God, forgives. In verses 42 to 43, Then he said, Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus answered him, truly, I tell you today, you will be with me in paradise. In verses 44 to 46, Jesus gives up his life. It was now about noon, and darkness came over the whole land until 3 p.m, for the sun stopped shining, and the curtain of the temple was torn in two. Jesus calls out with a loud voice, Father, into your hands I commit my spirit. When he had said this, he breathed his last. Attached to today's reflection will be a clip from Jesus Christ Superstar. It's Tim Minchin who plays Judas. Just watch the dramatic clip and remember, Jesus gave up his life for us, for me, and for you. Maybe between 12 and 3 this afternoon, stop for a few moments to reflect on Jesus' death on the cross. And if you want to know more, contact Pastor Steph, Pastor Jane, or myself, Pastor Sarah, at Haymills CC. God bless. Good Friday. Amen.